So today I have Amy and Steph from Soulfreak. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day and sitting with me. I always say this whenever I start these, like this does more for me, just to be able to, just talk to other people and kind of get their stories and kind of how this came about. So, we're located right here in South Shore, right off of Marina Bay Drive.
Marina Bay Drive and the entrance of Clearlake Shores.
Clearlake Shores,
Mm-hmm.
awesome. And how did this start? How did this idea of Soul Freak start?
Okay, so Soulfreak started in 2015. My husband and I bounced around this idea. He used to teach tennis to children, and his name was Tennis Freaks. So we adopted that name, Freak. We liked that name, and we thought about souls and Soul Freak and doing something for other people. So in 2015, I created a bunch of shirt designs, which we sell in here now. The paddleboarder, the skateboarder, things that we love that were important to us. And so we put those on a shirt. We picked two programs, sponsorships that we wanted to support. One was Sepia, which is a nonprofit in Costa Rica that we've actually visited several times. A part of our proceeds were going to that. And then the other was Rahab's Rope, which is rehabilitating women who were a part of sex trafficking. So we had a little tiny tiki hut in Kemah off of Bradford Street, no AC. We had that for about 6 months. Tillman Fertitta bought the location. And
that was the original Soul Freak?
That was the original, and our artwork is still up over there. So we were there for about 6 months. We were trying to just, it was more like a little surf shop. We had sandals, we had sunglasses, but we also had handmade products. At the time, we thought this is a great location, but people, when they were going to Kemah, they were spending their money in Kemah at the rides at the amusement park. So it really kind of wasn't a good fit for that location. But we closed it down 6 months after we were open. We put everything back into storage. Our van we had in 2015, we had it wrapped, put it all in storage and sat on it. I lost my father in 2013, and so after I lost him, I kind of got lost a little bit in life and didn't know what I was doing. So he always wanted me to go back to school and do art and finish my art degree. So I did. And once I told myself I was going to do it before I was 40, and I went back, graduated, met a lot of awesome artists, other artists, young artists that weren't working at the time, thinking that they were going to graduate and get out in the world and be like, bam,
Made it.
Yeah.
No stress.
But I had been working since I was 15 years old, so I knew, and office jobs, so I knew the reality of what's going to happen when they get out of school. They may get out, do their craft for a while, their passion, and then they have to serve the man to make money.
Yep.
So, and when I graduated, I was still working my regular full-time job. I was getting certified to teach yoga, but I was also experimenting in my garage with building a website for my fellow artists and bringing back Soulfreak. I still had the name of the company, I still had the website, I just did nothing with it. So I was playing in the garage and trying to build a platform for fellow artists with their bio, with their backlinks, to showcase artwork for them. And it was about the time CBD started booming, and I thought, you know what, I could probably private label myself on a CBD and get that as an anchor to get people to my site, and then just go from there. Started that. My husband works for oil and gas. He actually he was on an interview with somebody who was opening a CBD coffee shop, and when he came home, he said, what do you think about opening a CBD shop? I said, that's not what I'm doing. I want art. And I said, that's my passion. I don't know anything about opening a shop, nothing. This area, this building sat here for about 3 years after Harvey. It was an art studio when I moved on the island. Then after she moved out, and it didn't look anything like this. And then after she moved out, a family bought it or leased it, and they did Woosah, which is a little ice cream smoothie type thing. Harvey came and took them out. So Harvey, I don't know how many feet of water were in here, but it was substantial, enough to where nobody picked this place up for a while. We went by, we looked at it, it's 1,000 square foot, and I'm like, I don't know. And there was no walls, no nothing. And he said, let's think about, if you did art, you need an anchor. And I was like, yeah. And so we thought about coffee and then CBD coffee. And we went through all these little ideas and we played with the ideas. And then we did due diligence. We went to all the coffee shops around, all the mom and pops. We looked at quality, if they had a following, if they were able to private label their coffee and resell it, wholesale it to us, and what that relationship looked like. That was important to us. Supporting other small businesses were key to our business, and other artists. So coffee, we hit the nail on the head with Pearland Coffee Roasters. We became great friends with them. We love their atmosphere, love their coffee. Not only did they supply us coffee, they actually showed us the equipment that they used, and they were like, you can buy it from us. We'll get a better deal for you. And they helped us come in, they trained our staff. It was beautiful, and it's a great relationship. We still source from them today. We would love to be able to roast our own coffee at some point, but that's in the future. But when we decided to do this, we brought it back, signed up for about 2 years on a lease thinking it would never be anything.
Look at you now.
And look at me now. And it was a 2-year project, plaything, that we thought we may lose a ton of money, but it's a project. Let's see what happens. Yeah. So I cashed in my 401k and went to work. Not much in my 401k, by the way, but we would continue to pay, and we would continue to build it and evolve it. And we started with one single table outside on the deck. No music. We didn't have beer and wine. We had lots of retail space. This table was full with retail. This whole area in here was filled with retail. So it was very important for me to start with supporting. We also started with a farmer's market, and when I had moved on the island 10 years ago, they had one. The civic center or the civic club in our community organized it. Well, the vendors, it was every weekend. It was oversaturated, the same vendors. There was no interest. Once they lost produce, it fizzled out. I hated it because I loved riding my bike up. I romanticized about it. That's one of my draws to be here. Old small town feel, and so I'm like, okay, I got to bring it back. And so we started with 6 vendors. The very first day we opened, October 26, 2019. I'm getting it all wrong. Backwards. Okay. So when we opened, it was important for me, and we wanted to open in October. We love Halloween. We wanted it before Halloween. That was our target. October 26th just so happened to be my dad's death day as well. So significant day. It was just a great day to open. We had a great turnout. We had 6 vendors. We are now over 40. We have 140 on our email list, our contact list. Where our future is to build that market up to where it's a draw for the community. It helps the community. It keeps interest to the vendors, the artists that are still creating, keeps them with their passion doing what our initial thing was, to support artists.
Y'all just had one recently this past Saturday. Yeah.
This
past Saturday.
So now are y'all doing those every Saturday now?
It's the second Saturday of the month.
We keep it every second Saturday. So our next one will be Easter weekend. We'll have the Easter bunny. We'll have an Easter egg hunt for the kids. We have activities. When we do when we have activities such as Halloween, Easter, or Christmas, we have Jack Skeleton come out. We have Santa Claus come out. We have the Easter Bunny come out. We have the Grinch come out.
Yeah.
So we have a plethora of activities geared around families and children. We don't charge for pictures with any of them. We actually just set it up and we have people come out. They tag us on social, and it's great for the community.
So you guys built you just walk in here and everybody's super sweet. I haven't met one person that isn't like, hey, just like super, like the environment is really what I'm getting at. Like, what is that? How do you select those people, and how do you put that together?
So we started out with, we didn't really have a vibe or a feel yet. When we started out, we interviewed probably 12 people, 12 kids in general, people that lived nearby, local. We had a mix between young men and females, and we started out with a good mix with the kids. After we closed down, COVID closed us down, we had to change. We had art classes that we were doing. We had kids weekly craft classes, and we were getting the feel of our customer service, how the tact, how just the whole feel of it. We had some bad seeds in the beginning, and that was us not understanding what we needed as a core. And when I say bad seeds, I'm just saying that this wasn't they weren't fit for this, and customer service was not their
Some people have it, some people don't.
Some people have it, some people don't. So once we closed down, we brought back, we came back open, we brought beer and wine, and some of the kids didn't come back. We gave them the option. We actually paid them while they were down. So we closed down I took a percentage of their salary, and then I paid them out of my own pocket to retain them. And so some came back, some didn't. When we started building this little core relationship with each other, it started with friendships that you could value and trust each other. And then I started delegating tasks to each one of them, giving them a little piece of the pie, creating an importance to this environment. Once I saw that, and I saw that they were able to achieve it, it made them feel more important here, and it created a lasting relationship. They felt valued. I paid them for their service. I empower them to do more, be creative. The menu is a creation. They do that themselves. I don't dictate what's going on the menu. I'm like, just make sure it's consistent, make sure y'all can do it right. If it's something you would drink, then a customer would. But if it's not something, then don't put it on there. But I give them a full leeway to be creative. And when you do that, you're not a micromanager and you're not coming in, do this, do this, do this. It creates this warmth. And I treat them like family rather than it's our business. And we can't do it. I can't do it. It's not my business. I can't do it without y'all. And also treat them, I tell them, I'm not better than you. I'm a little bit older and maybe a little bit wiser.
A little riskier.
Riskier, yes. Crazy. But no, I just tell them I'm not better than y'all. Y'all, we're equal. I can inspire you to know more if you want to. But I'm not here to be like, this is my show. This is our thing. And I can't do it without them. So I created this dynamic of love. We don't have any guys anymore in our industry. That when we used to, we had a guy that was doing tables and music nights. But the girls, it's a tight space back there. We're all working over each other. It's just, it works better. It's easier, and we're all sisters. And that's the kind of dynamic we go for. Not that we're not opposed to having guys in here. We don't have a lot of interest. Nobody really comes in here. But
More people should come in here. This is a nice place as far as like, I mean, it's relaxing. I had a friend come from Austin. He was visiting, and he's another real estate agent, and I just like happened to see his stuff on social media, and I start following him, and he kicks free information back, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Well, I saw that he was in Houston, and I just like messaged him. I was like, hey man, we'd love to meet up for lunch, and we did. We met at 2 P's, we ate, and then after that, he went to go do something, and I obviously wouldn't start my day or whatever. And he's like, hey, where's a good coffee shop that's around here that's cool? And I sit him over here, and I was like, dang, and they closed actually. Like, it was thinking, well, y'all closed early today, right?
At 6.
At 6?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is it one of the days y'all close at 2?
2.
Yeah.
We used to close at 2 on Mondays.
Yeah, on Mondays we used to close at 2. We were in the middle of transitioning. We were trying to do meetings. So it's important for us we have 15, 16 girls right now on
that's a lot of different personalities.
It's a lot of different personalities, and I tell you, it's a challenge sometimes because they will start ganging up on each other, and then I have to set them back down and say, we lead by love. We don't lead by, pushing somebody out. And if you feel like someone's, work it out. And so we have a lot of that where I have to get them all together. So some of the morning people don't work with the evening people. I try to rotate them out so they do, but we have meetings we try to do monthly and then quarterly team building, so that it gets all those personalities together. They can see and meet one another. We try to do fun tasks. So we went to an Astros game. We went bowling. We went. I had prom.
Yeah.
I held a whole prom for the girls that didn't get prom after COVID.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing. We dressed up. I made fresh corsages for all of them. So we try to do different things here that.
It's a community. You build a community around this, and I think that's one of the things that like I enjoy. And like you just come in here and it feels like family. It just feels like people like these two back here are hilarious. I was set up and I was just. Like they were just having me laughing over here, and that's usually the vibes you come in, where people are just in a good mood, and it's nice. It's like intriguing. Like it's like you want to come in here more just because it's a feel good place.
It makes you feel good. When you leave here, you feel pumped. You feel better about your day, and that is actually what we want. And I tell the girls, I'm like, if you don't have your game face on, don't bring it on. Don't bring it here, because I'm the same way. Mm-hmm. There's times where I come in and they're like, "Get out of here," because you're not you. Yeah. And I totally get it, and I see it, but we need to be aware of it, of ourselves, and that's our best customer service that we can provide. The girls, a lot of times, so I'm supportive. I went to school while I worked, so I'm supportive of them going to school while they're working, and I tell them, if you need to do homework, if you need to do readings, do it. But just make sure you're getting the job done. But I allow them to do it on their downtime. It's important. And then some of them, they leave and come back, or they just stay on because they'll clock out and just stay here because they love each other. Yeah. And they want to, hang out.
Well, I was talking to Caitlin, the other lady that's sitting back in the...
Oh, Kaylee.
Kaylee. Yeah, I started talking to her. I had never met her. I mean, I've seen her a couple times in here, and I've introduced myself. And I thought she worked here. She was like, "No, I just come here and I just enjoy being here." Yeah. That's the thing that you guys have built, together. And where does it go from here? Like, how do you take this and what you have and I don't know if it's, I'm kind of like this, where like I'm always like, what's next? And I think someone in this line of like business and like just any form of business has that, right? And I don't know if you do, but are you okay with where it's at now, or are there some things you're kind of looking to do? Kind of just where's it go?
Great. That's a good question. We get asked that a lot.
We're taking over the world.
Okay, so I met Stephanie 3 years ago, about 3 years ago.
One of the volunteers you couldn't get rid of, so you just put her on payroll?
Yes. Okay. My best friend, my ride or die, my partner in crime. Okay. So, little did I know that I would meet my soul sister.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, soul sister, like, for sure. I don't have, a lot of I don't have family here. I have family that's sporadic. So I created a family. here. And I didn't know I was doing it when I did it, but Stephanie came in, would take art classes, or her grandbaby would take art classes through one of our children's classes that we had weekly. And that's how she and I met. She would come in and be a regular after that. Well, I was doing a full-blown all-day interview process for,
Oh, yeah.
I was rehiring. A lot of kids were coming back off of school, and we had that transition. Her daughter came in from school, and she said, "Oh, I wish I would have known you were hiring, because I would have, applied." I said, "Sit down. I have 30 minutes. Let's do this." She was freaked out, and I hired her on the spot.
I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I hired her on the spot, and I think that's when you get the truth, when someone's unprepared.
Yeah.
You get raw. And so I'm like, she's awesome. I love her, and she's now my manager. So she started working for free, and I'm like, absolutely not. You can't, almost for a year. And I'm like, stop. And she goes, well, I'm scared of you. I don't want to be on payroll. And I'm like, why are y'all scared of me? And yeah, I did have, a lot of stressors that I went through, and it's hard when you don't have a partner when you're running a business by yourself. I was mentally on the verge of probably a breakdown at the point, because I'm doing it all on my own. When she came in and I finally convinced her to work for me, she was a lifesaver. She could do everything that I can. When I'm physically not able to be in here, she can do it, and she gets paid for it. I don't. I can't. So
Not yet.
not yet. So we were both working for free, and I'm like, no, you need to work and get paid for it. If I can't get paid for it, at least I can pay you to do what I can do. So she came in, amazing person. The girls love her. They actually love her more than me.
I'm the nicer one.
She's the good cop, I'm the bad cop. And I'm okay with that. I mean, actually I'm not. I come in and I come in and I tell them, I don't tell them what to do. I do things, and then if they see me doing it, I'm like,
This
y'all
is
better be
things
weird.
that they should have been doing.
Y'all should be doing things. If y'all see me cleaning tables, that's stuff y'all should be doing. So I want them to look at it and say, oh my gosh, my mom's doing that job. She shouldn't be doing that. I need to be doing it. So that's when I succeed. When they are better human beings, seeing something that needs to be done, take care of it without being told to. It's just common sense. With the expansion, so right now, we sit 3 feet below sea level here. It's only a matter of time before a hurricane comes this direction, and we have to take everything literally and move out. And we did that 2 times in one summer.
You guys take on a lot of water pretty often.
Often. So we've had some situations with our current tenant, our current landlord, where he's done some improvements on his other properties that caused some significant issues with this property. So with that being said, we love this corner. We love this space. It's a great corner. You can see a lot of activity. It's dangerous for the children crossing the street. They want to come here. This is a place for kids. So they bike up here, but there's a lot of bars, people drinking. My back stock, all the inventory stuff is in my garage, and it's full. And so we're trying to find ways to reduce that stock so we don't have to have so much storage. But what we love to do is expand and have more, internal seating, more of, a retail space. We'd love to have space for roasting coffee, to make our own products, have yoga, have more, have a place where we can do everything we want to do that we envision with the space. We love music. We want to keep music. Next door, they put a giant stage up, so it conflicts with,
your
our
taste.
settings.
Yeah. Well, have you guys thought about where it is you would like to go? Because I think this is a staple here, and that's going to be hard to.
It will be hard to leave, and we will probably have people with pitchforks outside if we try to leave.
Yeah, I think you're gonna. Yeah, but again, that's the thing that as far as like the business aspect goes, like you guys have built something so well that what's a drive? Like what's a quick little drive down the street or something?
Right.
But where are you thinking? Are you thinking more like a warehouse style with like a little storefront type of deal, or
Well, we, probably double the space. Roasting does not take up much room. I don't have an office or storage for us to kind of go and talk to employees. When we have an employee meeting, I have to take them outside, or and they know, they're like, oh gosh, if I were going outside, I'm in trouble.
you go to the principal's office?
Yeah. And so I would love to have that. We do have people, brokers that are looking for us for, our next. We have about a year left on our lease space here. We will negotiate and see what we need to do as far as the space goes. If we can't get something worked out, then we will have to go. There's significant improvements that have to be done to this building. One, AC unit is very outdated. The heat does not work in it. So the walls, there's different things that are deteriorating within the walls. The building is from the 70s. We had a corrugated metal pipe that was galvanized or something pipe that was running through here that deteriorated because of the salt water, the flooding. The pipe itself, I think it was an outlet pipe from something.
Yeah.
It started putting fumes in the building.
Fumes in
And we were like, what in the
We're
heck?
like, what's that smell?
We thought it was a dead rat. We were like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Something had
in
to
the
die in the
wall.
walls.
Yeah, so we had to shut down, and we've had to shut down for several incidents. One, we had an AC falling through our
Yeah.
AC falling through our but we get water. Typically, water will come in, and it used to just make a little moat and come through from that door to this door, and we'd be fine. We could manage it and without shutting down. Since then, it'll rain and come through that door and just go all the way through the shop.
The building kind of is like
Shifted
this.
some,
Yeah.
some-
So ideally, we would love to stay here. We love this community. We love the support from the community. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We got to do what makes sense for us. We've gotten inquiries about franchising. A lot of people come in and they're like, where's your other location? And we're like, this is it. And they're like, you look like you have a brand, like a popular brand. I was like, well, we're building it. And, franchising scares me because you lose that feel. Like, this is hard to replicate because I put my soul in here. And how do you do it with another location? How do you make it feel like your soul and have all that feel? So it's hard.
You don't want to lose that. Like you can't. Like it's hard to like. Does it go to business? Because obviously it's a business, right? But opening and expanding, like, can you do it? I think you can do it, but it's like hard to do because there's no two identical places,
right?
And feelings like you. But if you can build it once and you can do it here, I think you can do it again.
I could. And so my goal maybe, and this could be just an idea, is having keeping this location as just a corner location, and then opening up my second location and having that as, my space, and having that as my roasting, having that as, another storefront, office space.
Yeah.
So ideally, I'd love that. I've looked at the Strand area, things like that, to where
That'd be a good fit.
I could house everything and still be close enough to go back and forth. And so that's something, that I'm looking into. Obviously, we're going to need, the funds. We're going to have to look into, just start the process of looking. So,
what does Soulfreak mean to you?
This is my live, eat, and breathe. So I kind of started stalking her after I met her for the first time. I was like, oh my gosh, she's like my fiance, but female version. And they are two peas in a pod. And when she asked me to work for her, it scared me because I didn't want it to ruin our friendship. But I think so far we've been okay.
Yeah, we don't.
So it means the world to me. I love coffee. I love coffee. I can drink it all day long. We have decaf. But most of all, it's the people that come in here. Because the regulars are our family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have a lot of people that we know by first names, or we're like, oh, that's Butterbeer Girl, you know,
Yeah.
by what they order. So to me, I love to talk. So I'm like a greeter. And so it just kind of makes sense that I'm here every day, you know. And I miss it when I'm not here. And I worry about it. And I lose sleep over it. If I know rain's coming, you know, I'm up early, you know, checking shop, making sure things are okay. It's just, it's like a huge, a good thing for everybody, not only for the employees, but the people that come in here, because who doesn't love coffee?
Yeah.
I mean, is my whole thing. And then you can transition to the wine or beer later on in the day. My thing that I find most important about this is the fact that it is community and we do things as a family, you know, or with small people, with big people. And that's something Amy's always done, is she gives back to the community. And that's what I love about Soulfreak, is the fact that it's kind of a give and take relationship. That Hurricane Nicholas, for example, we had 4 feet of water in here. You know, this whole community showed up. People came by with coolers, with drinks, came with their food, came with their tools, and helped us get this place. And we reopened within a week.
Does that not
No,
make
within
y'all feel-
48 hours.
48 hours, that's right.
So the news crew was in here,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
I was crying. I said, I'm not opening. We had that purple table
Yeah.
where the bus was. Thank God the bus wasn't there, but the water was all the way up to the table. We were sitting in the water, basically.
Yeah.
And so I told them, I said, I'm done. I'm not doing it. We didn't move anything out. We thought it wasn't going to be that bad.
Wasn't going to be that bad.
We raised everything up, but we put all the equipment on cinder blocks, and it still got no equipment. So I was done. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired. I can't do this 7 days a week. I can't do it. I'm tired. And all of a sudden, well,
Your dad sitting in the back. They're so funny.
but all of a sudden, you know, the community, they showed up. They said, what do we got to do? The news crew came in after the community came and said, what are we doing? And I said, we got to wait for the water to get out of here, and then we'll figure it out. News crew came in, and he said, oh man, are you going to reopen? I said, yeah, the community wants me to. And he's like, how long do you think it'll take? And I said, 48 hours. He said, how, a week? And I said, nope, days. And he goes, oh, that's a challenge. And I said, challenge accepted. And I said, you don't know me.
Yeah.
Don't tell me I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's all you have to do is say, you can't do that. And Amy goes,
You can't open the second location.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
He challenge accepted.
It's on record.
Oh, no.
So once that happened, the water was down. I got the approval from the city admin. I'm in here with my own tools, jigging the wall. I had a measuring tape, a yardstick.
Yep,
Going through
yardstick.
this whole thing, cutting at the wall myself, and then other people just showed up.
Yeah.
And
it was
and
amazing.
Then I was like, you go paint, you do this, you
Yep.
cut this, you cut this, you do this. And we repainted all the wall. We moved everything out. We had to clean tubs. I had orchestrated different little things for people to do in areas. And then afterwards, I told them, I said, I apologize to you guys for if I came off rude or ugly at any point. And they said, no, you're a good leader. Like directive, wise, like do this. So nobody was sitting around just like, what do we do?
No.
I'm like, Here's a paintbrush.
Yep.
Go get that wall. And as I came off, like afterwards, I was like, I couldn't have done it without them, and I felt like I was the rudest person in the world. But they were like, no, you are a good leader. You told us what to do. Without that, we would all just be
Standing around, yeah.
Um,
Holy shit.
yeah, I can't find that picture of all of
All
us
of us
sitting at the
sitting.
table.
That's a lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys are on a very low point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Does that not make you feel good, that the fact that like everybody showed up? Does that not like give you like a, like holy shit, like I'm doing this, or like I have a support system?
we
Or,
have
like,
the hammers. So yes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it made me, I was overwhelmed with the support, and it just made me like, this is my place, this is where I belong, and this is my family. You know, my own family didn't come out to help. My own family didn't. So I had my team here unloading the shop into a storage. I had neighbors here bringing their stuff, and I mean, it was beautiful. And so, you know, yeah, I want to stay. I want to be here. So, as a thank you for everybody, I got these really nice Stanley,
Yeah,
were they Stanley? Engraved hammers that said Nicholas Who,
Yeah.
and then on the back it said Soulfreak Cleanup Crew 2021. I think it was 2021. And it had a little bow on each one of them. So I awarded each one, shouted it out to the neighborhood, told them thank you so much. And, you know, it's just the least I could do for them. And we actually gave everybody a gift card to Soulfreak
Yeah.
to bring them back, you know. So on these events that we try to do, when we started, we had little baskets, which I'd love to bring back, buckets where the kids go around the island, or people, anybody. They take a bucket and they go around the island and pick up the trash. When they bring the trash back, they get a free cake bowl or a drink.
oh, that's smart.
Yep. And so but with COVID, we were like, nobody touch anything. So now we can bring it back to where they're cleaning up our community. They're going around the waterfront and they're picking up all the trash that floats up. And, you know, we have once a year community cleanup, but we wanted to have something where kids could feel like they're doing something too. It also sets that mindset for them to be aware to, you know, pick up trash.
I do that randomly, and it was I can't remember where I heard it, but it was a guy that was speaking, and he went to this business to speak, and he was using the restroom, and he saw that somebody had, you know, used the restroom all over. They peed all over the seat, right? And he's just kind of like, you know, it's how many people before me saw this, because people were coming out of the restroom and just left it.
Yes.
You know, and he was like, now what kind of man would I be, or what would I expect for my children to do? Like, they would be disappointed to know that dad just left it how it was. So like, he cleaned it off, and then he went back later the day, and he was like, it was still cleaned off, but he spoke about that, and like, I catch myself doing that. Like, there's a piece of trash on the floor, something's not right, and I'm like, if I just left it, like,
Someone else is gonna do
yeah,
it.
and it's just like, why, like, would I be okay with, like, I'm trying to live a better life, trying to be a better human, trying to just break old habits, and so I stop and pick stuff up, but I can't preach this stuff and not practice, like, simple little things like that, and, like, it's, like, super minor little thing, but, like, it sets the mind state of, like, hey, this is wrong, this needs to be attended to. Then I find myself at the house sometimes, like, don't put stuff off, because it's just gonna, you know.
It will build,
yeah.
and then you'll feel overwhelmed by it eventually. If you just get those little tasks done, they'll snowball on each other. Yeah, the stuff about the community and going out, and you know, we tried to get the girls out to do the hats, the gloves, and I think I sent that invitation out. But we did a drive where we were getting all the hats and the gloves right before the last winter storm, and we took it out to the Salvation Army, and then there's another place.
Faith Ministries.
Interfaith. Well, we support them too, but we go out and we try to do things like that to where it creates awareness for other things, not just, you know, our little bubble on where we're at. You know, we want to do more. we're rolling out this new monthly charity cause. So each barista gets to pick a cause, a charity that they want to do. We're going to get little skeleton
Good morning.
little skeleton papers made up, little skellies, and every color will be the cause, and people can write their name if they donate to that charity. And we'll have contributions and information about it, but it gives each girl each month their option to pick whatever is important to them and valuable to them. So with the skellies, we're going to put them all up on the window so people can see it, or in the ceiling, and just make it fun and do more charitable stuff like what we originally started it with in 2015. I want to carry that over and be less about building a brand and our coffee and more about helping other people, which is what we originally wanted.
And I think sometimes people get too focused on building a brand, that if you just do, like, the brand is going to build itself.
Yeah.
Like, and then you don't have to, like, it's like two birds, one stone.
Yeah.
You know, and how do you handle the stress that comes with running a business, running different personalities, like managing everything? Like, how do you handle that?
This bathroom right here is called the cry bathroom, and I'm not joking.
You're not joking.
And several of my staff have gone in there and cried, and I'm not saying that like we're being abused here.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, it
People,
is.
the wait time, and the busyness, the hustle bustle, when you're just go, when you don't have time to eat. On those mornings when we have, I'll go back to the stress thing, but on market mornings, we are so busy, we're literally crawling on top of each other to get stuff done. But I feed them, I get them, little quick bites like Chick-fil-A, and they pop, we're all sitting in there popping
Yeah,
food.
we're making coffee.
So with women, we cry, we have to eat.
Yeah.
So we feed their feelings, and we love each other. We do a lot of build up and,
Yep.
popping each other on the
Yep.
butt, and, just girl stuff. We build each other up. Stress is inevitable. It's going to come with life.
Growth,
Yeah.
especially if
With
you're
growth.
growing. Yeah.
And I tell people the more stressful, the more God's paying attention.
Yep.
And nothing good comes without pain. And so
Yeah.
building something, and that means that if we start getting these little attacks, random attacks on social or on reviews, and they are insignificant. They mean it almost feels like they've never even been into this establishment.
Or actually
They're
gave it
going-
a shot, like give it a real good shot. Like give
Yeah.
the place a try, not just one time, but like just come in and spend an afternoon in
Yeah.
here, come in
Right.
and spend a day in here, like, and you'll see that like
Yeah.
it's much more than what it looks like from the outside.
Right.
Like
Right.
what you get here, you can't see. Like you feel it. Like you just feel what's in here.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they judge it by the outside, and they're like, "Ugh, that's too liberal or too,
Yeah.
whatever." And we're a place of all. So the skeleton, the brand, the reason behind the skeleton is because we all have that. That's the one thing that unifies everybody. We all have a skeleton, even animals. So it's all the same color, it's everything. Our skeletons unify us. We bring in every race, every religion, anything, any political view. We don't care. We actually are Switzerland in here. We'd rather park it at the door, come in, draw on the table, get to know somebody else.
Yeah.
Talk about something that you like, that you love, draw about something, draw your feelings, eat your feelings, drink your coffee,
Yep.
It's just something to where underneath it all, we're all the same. So I wanted the skeleton to kind of be that
Symbolize that, yeah.
and in my artwork, it's the same thing. So I, chose that faceless skeleton, which was symbolism of losing yourself, your identity. But the skeleton, anybody can identify with that. They can look at that. If I painted myself on there, everybody's like, oh, okay, that's nice. I feel that feeling, but you don't put yourself in there because that would be me. But with a skeleton, everybody,
I have that. Yeah. I'm included in this. Yeah, that's
you're a part of.
It's funny. I saw some, like you were saying, like where you like lose yourself and like kind of like just something you can. Anyways, I was sitting here one day and I was working on something, and there was two individuals here that like they were playing cards. And it's funny, like, how people watch, like, and I just kind of want to see what's going on. And there was another gentleman that the other day I met, and he was shooting pictures, just like of his coffee, just like the cars around, just like that was his thing. This was these guys' thing. And, like, there's always people working here doing something, reading or doing something. And I just noticed that, like, it's the skeleton that, like, everybody comes here and just comes down to, like, it's a place of, like, just come relax, enjoy what you enjoy, do what you want to do, and but it was cool to see that, like, just different. I wasn't big into coffee shops. Like, I wasn't, like, it's just something that didn't attract me or whatever. But I came in one day and I grabbed a coffee. I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this coffee shop. And then I just, like, okay, I'm going to come back. And I just kept coming back. And, like, now it's just, like, it's just a place to relax and just unwind. And I talked to those guys about those cards, and I asked them about the game they were playing. And they were like, we would love to open up a card shop, but there's nowhere like this that, like, you know, we can come and do this. Like, they shut the card shop that was here, they shut it down around the area. And we needed somewhere to go, and, like, this is a perfect place for us to come and just be ourselves. And it was cool to see somebody super passionate about something that they liked, even if it was the silliest cards. Like, I've got my thing. I like cards. And people are like, you find joy in this old junky truck? And I'm like, yes, like, super geeked out about it. Like, this is what I nerd out about. And same thing with the guy. He was taking pictures, and he was like, man, I'm just, like, you know, just a noob photographer. Like, I'm not really that good or nothing like that. I was like, everybody's a noob at some point. Like, you're here, you're doing it. Like, jump into it. Like, same thing with this stuff. Like, half the time I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm just winging it, you know. And but
you're playing.
Yes. And until you, I enjoy this.
You play with, like, artists. We play with paint until we figure out what we're putting on that canvas. You play with it. That's art. And that's what we do in here is play.
That's, like, really good too. Like, some of the drawings and stuff, like, every now and then I'll come in and, like, this looks like scribble, but if you actually look at the bigger picture, it's, like, super cool. And it's like
someone probably did it real fast.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's times when I fold it up and I'm like, oh my God,
I don't want to throw this away. Why don't you keep some of them? Like, cut some of them
We
out.
do.
Yes.
We
Okay.
do. We cut some of them out, but, you know, then I get to the point where, like, I'd love to cut them out and put them to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Like
Decoupage.
Or just keep them, and you can do, like, weekly shouts out of, like, hey, like, Friday art day, like, shout out, like, whoever drew this, like,
Well, we
awesome.
used to do, and
Okay.
we had a social media girl that was doing it. So, and that's probably something we need to bring back. We had those. I'm not good with social media. I'm just terrible.
Well, you guys got a lot of going on. Like,
We do.
it's hard to,
That's
like,
why
manage
I
everything.
delegate it out.
Yep.
So she's ordering food and beer, and then coffee and all kinds of crap. And then I have one that's working on social media, one that's doing events, one that's working on market, one that works on classes. What's anybody else?
Well, then Cameron's our HR.
Oh,
She's
Cameron.
getting
Oh
us-
gosh, HR.
She's
She's
Can't forget
created-
about HR.
No, she's actually interning with another company and mimicking. She's marrying our company, creating us like a big girl company against them. And so she's mirroring. She created us a Bible, you know, where it encompasses our core values, our, you know, what we are about. It's got all the recipes in it. Where
She's
we pull
helping
our
structure it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
very much so. And this year has been a year of growth for me personally. The end of last year, personally, growth for me. Understanding more about the business, the back end of the business. I have a CPA, I have an accountant that runs the back end. And there was so much that I didn't know about all of it that I was like, I'm lucky I didn't go to jail.
Yeah.
Type
Yes.
of.
Because there's a lot in owning a business that an artist doesn't know.
So when I tell the girls that there's people that come in here and they're like, oh, I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm like,
Okay.
you better have a lot of money and a lot of patience, or be able to sell a lot of assets to make this work. And I think it's great. And I tell my girls, I'm like, I'll coach you, I'll counsel you, but I tell you what, take a business class first,
Yeah.
then maybe accounting,
Yes.
if you're going to do accounting, or just get a really good accountant.
Yeah.
Like mine, I had to go through a first accountant who ruined my life,
Yeah.
almost.
Almost.
And
Almost
then
sent her to
my
jail.
new accountant cleaned it all up and saved my life. She's an angel.
Yeah, she is.
She's an angel.
Is she locally here? Because I need to.
Yes, and they're a family.
Okay.
So the mom is the CPA. Well, she's not part of the family, but she's the accountant. The son is an accountant. I think a daughter, but it's real small.
Okay.
They've been doing our taxes forever. I had her take over for my accounting.
Did you struggle with delegating? Because I mean, at some point, like you can only take it so far, right? And you can only wear so many hats. And after a while, like the amount of stress that comes with running a business and the amount of stress that everything, right? Did you struggle with like delegating? Like
I did, and it was like, this is my pie, this is my puzzle, and I don't trust to give everybody this piece. Or I gave it to them and they would fail, or it would just, and I'm like, oh man, I'll take it back. But then I started cratering in on myself too, and I was like, I'm gonna give up, I'm done. And I went through this whole, I'm done, I'm not done. I love it, I hate it, I love it, I hate it. And until I really found Cameron and Stephanie, and they talked me off the ledge and said, no, you got this, girl, keep going. And so I started delegating a little bit out to each person there, and I found their niches and what they were good at.
Good morning.
I paid them. I told them, they're doing a good job.
We've got little water
and
bowls.
keep it up. And once you start paying attention, you start showing them that they're doing a good job.
You give them a little bit of piece of like equity in their place, to where like they want to nourish it, they want to grow it. Like, okay, again, this is the part that I play in the team, and this is my role here, and I'm going to do the best part that I can for the bigger picture.
Yep, and what we try to do, if we give them a task and it doesn't work out for them, and we want them to show interest in learning new. We don't want to just, oh, here, you're getting more. We wait and find out what they want to learn about. Then if that doesn't work for them, or if they're struggling with it, we try to say, what's next?
Yeah.
Let's figure this out. Rather than saying,
Yeah, you suck.
you're not doing it. We're like, maybe this isn't your strong suit. Let's figure out what is, and let's look, beyond. And it sucks for them. Sometimes they were like, they're like, dang it, I really liked it. Or we'll give them a mentorship to another role like that, to where they can learn and figure stuff out. So they're constantly growing, and we have different levels. So if you start off as a barista, you may not always stay as a barista. You may change to a lead role. You may change to a class coordinator. You may be the social media. There's different roles and functions for everybody.
How does someone come in and like, hey, like I have this product that I make and this is my craft, like can I bring it to you? Like what can I do to like put it in the store?
So that's a good question. We get a lot of people that just come off and they're like, hey, how can I get my stuff in here? What I tell them, and the majority of the things in here are things I love. Things that, like the incense. I burn incense all the time. I love stones. I love, smudging my house. I love, candles. There's different things about everything that I have in here that speak to me. How I choose it, and when the artists come in, I tell them to work on market. Our market is only $15 for a 10 by 10 booth. I have them come in because my schedule's kind of all over the place, that I can't obviously have a plate here. It's kind of all over the place and it's hit or miss. So some people will just come in and be like, hey, you want to look at all this? And I'm like, so what I do is I tell them, hey, come work on market. It's a good way for you to showcase. You may sell some stuff, but I can also see if it's a good fit for that's a good place for me to pick it up. And so I'll get my market manager to go walk it, and if
Gauge the traffic and all that. Yeah.
She goes and checks people, and she will bring back information from the other vendors and say, hey, look, they want to be consignment. Now, if we already have a soap vendor, it doesn't make sense for us to do two different types of soap. So we give them about a year contract, and that means that they have that time to sell that product, or we put them on wholesale. We buy a wholesale product from them for X amount of time. So we'll play with different products, but we do consignment. So if people, like some of my employees, they're making products. The necklaces that are up around the light, that's one of my employees. So I inspired them to make their artwork as well. Disco ball keychains, the Texas NASA. These are
that's
all
cool, yeah.
These are all of my employees that are making products to sell in my shop. So not only are they working and getting, you know, their paycheck plus tips, they're getting paid for their artwork sales. So.
Well, then again, it gives them a little bit of like feel good that like, hey, my product's on the wall. Like, I want to like take care of this place because
Yeah.
it helps me, you know, nourish and scratch that. You know, when you're not doing this, what are some of your hobbies outside of this, or do you not have time to?
No, I art when I can. I have a board that I'm working on right now, and it's just a mandala board, but it's a big project, but it's more of a meditation. I'm very big on meditating. I have a little sacred space that I go to daily, and I pray, and I talk to my parents, read devotionals, and it's one of my favorite times of the day. Sometimes I miss it because I'm either not there or it's raining because it's outside, or I'm rushed and I'm like, oh crap, I didn't get my prayer in.
And it shows.
And it shows.
We want her to have that morning time.
I do like yoga.
It's back to the get out of here.
Yeah. I like yoga. I don't get to do it often, but I started teaching free classes for my staff, so now they're begging me to do it again.
Gotta get the Pilates.
But I do that outside as well, so the weather has to, be good for it. I love the beach. I love my pets. My dogs are my everything. The beach, I like sitting outside and I like drinking wine.
Yes.
What about you?
I drink beer.
I drink beer.
And
I love beer.
when you're not running this place,
I'm
I'm here on my days off.
No, I enjoy doing basically what she does, but most of the time I'm sitting at home watching TV.
Yeah.
That's my big thing. That's my meditation. I don't like to think about anything, so I watch series.
It's like, I'm out of here.
Time to go.
Well, I appreciate y'all sitting with me.
Yeah.
This it gives me a little more of the backstory and understanding of one, not only what Soulfreak is, but who you guys are, and kind of the message that you guys are living in, the thing you guys created, and it's thank you just for making this like a super welcoming place to just like I wanna come here. Like it's almost like I fight the line because like financially I shouldn't make it a part of like my everyday, but I'm in here pretty often.
Yeah, you are.
You accumulate your points and
Yeah.
you get free coffee. When you
I think
come.
I have like 100 points. I'm just kidding. I have
We-
like
we
10
did
points.
So we did have a local, not to keep you, but we did have a local that he was accumulating points just to have the point numbers, the highest number.
Yeah.
So
What's he at?
I don't even know what he's
I don't
at.
know.
They haven't. Well, he hasn't cashed them in, I don't think. But
He's gonna put you out of
so-
business.
he said he's going to buy enough to buy Soulfreak. So at 300 or 500?
I don't remember.
I felt like it was like
Holy
300
crap,
points.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like one of the two significant times we had little cannons that we shot for him, and his wife told us that he's getting close, and so I was like, okay, so we scheduled when they were
A new high score.
yeah. So we all popped these like confetti cannons at
Yeah.
him, and I think we gave him something for free, but yeah, we love doing kind of stuff like that. It's good.
It gets
It's
people
fun.
involved, and it gives people a place to just again feel appreciated, just feel loved, and feel part of something.
Yeah.
And I think you guys have done that. So like, I don't know if you hear it often or anybody tells you, but like, thank you for pursuing the dream that you had. Thank you for delegating and getting, key roles to other people, because one, it does give you a little bit of like a stress reliever, and you can kind of kick back a little bit and relax, because it's not healthy to run like all the time nonstop. So
Yeah.
one, look at what you build. Like, look at the family you have here. Look at the community. Like, look at the people. Like, just like, look, with the last hour we've been sitting here, the traffic that comes through here on a Monday during the day, like, and that's quite often that, when I'm in here, there's a lot of traffic coming in here. So what you guys do to the community, just the staple that you've created, like, thank you. Thank you for keep it up. It gets stressful and it can run you to the ground, but you've got a good team. Use them, abuse them, and don't, like, you can, like, not, like, keep this place running. Like, you cannot like, give up on this place. Like, this is so much bigger than you. It's just, I mean, look, there's people outside just hanging out, like, enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
Because of something that y'all built. So if you're ever having a bad day, if you're ever, like, kind of in the feelings or whatever, just, like, look, people are enjoying themselves here.
That's what she tells me. I come in and she's like, sister, you gotta go. But she's like, you don't know. Sometimes I'm like, it's done. I'm done. I'm giving up. I'm done. She's like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah,
everybody loves it. You don't even know how many times people come in. So when we work shifts, every day we get someone who comes in and they're like, when they walk in, they're in awe, and that makes me feel
like this was worth it. Like, this was worth it. Like, all the headaches. And this is why I wanted to sit with you guys, because, like, I love this place. Like, I truly do enjoy this place. Plus, I think the van's, like, super cool. So, like, that was one of the things where I was like, ooh, a car.
Yeah, old car.
Yeah, old car. And I wanted to sit with y'all, and one, obviously, just get the story, and, like, I fight this, like, thing that I'm chasing to, like, what's my dream and what's my purpose, right? And, like, to see you, again, even if it's something that's, like, so minor or as small as, like, coffee and art, like, you've made it something big, which it's reassurance for me that even though, like, what I'm trying to do is just so small, it's just like this and this, like, I'm gonna hone in on it because y'all did it. Like, if they can do that, I can chase something that I enjoy. And
it's planting a seed.
Yeah.
Planting a seed and watching it grow. This didn't look like this. I mean, if you look at pictures of the original, when we first, it's changed. It evolves, and you grow with it, and then.
Sometimes you don't even know what it is that you learn as you.
So I'll give you an example of just how to relate it. My husband told me, shut it down, stop the bleeding, because it costs money. Okay, it's killing you. It's too much for you. You need to shut it down. I said, you're trying to tell me to give up my baby that I created? No. So when you have a baby, it costs money. It's needy. It takes up a lot of your time. It takes effort. You've got to put in the trenches. Then it becomes a teenager, and it's costly. It's a pain in the butt, and it has errors, mistakes, but it's learning. And then when you grow it to an adult, and it's a beautiful thing, it's your child that you've invested time in, you've invested your funds in, you hope you see them graduate and grow up and mature and make good decisions, and then all of a sudden you've got this big, you're proud, you've got something. So I kind of look at it as, this is our child, and he's like, no, give it up. And I'm like, that's my baby. So it was something that it's too much for me to give up now. I can't give it up. I love it, and I want to see what happens to it. I want to see it be successful. I want something that my parents never had, and I want to, show my ancestors on that other side. Look what I'm doing here for us, and so that's my goal.
Not only that, but look at, like, the girls that are working. Like, you give them that, like, hey, if she can do this, like, I can too. And I if anybody's looking to do something, I think you should find someone that's doing it and ask them, like, hey, 90% of the time they're going to be willing to, like, if you show any interest, like, people want to talk about this. People want to talk about what they're doing, and you just got to ask a simple question. And that's why, I don't know, that's my thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
But again, thanks for sitting with me.
Yeah.
I know you guys have to get the girls out of here, and someone's got to cover the counter.
Yeah.
So thank you again, and I'll just be hanging out here more often.
Okay.
All right.
Well, feel free to interview other people if you find some interesting people.